I found out that my fiancee's baby isn't mine, but her stepbrother's. I told her family, and now she's saying I betrayed her and wants me to come back because the baby deserves a father. I'm done with this BS. We'd been engaged for about a year when she told me she was pregnant. I was shocked, not because we weren't trying, we weren't exactly avoiding it either, but because we'd always talked about waiting until after the wedding. Still, I was happy. Nervous, but happy. I started working overtime, planning nursery stuff, even canceled a trip with my buddies to save money. Everyone in her family was ecstatic. Her mom knitted tiny sweaters. Her dad, usually the emotionally constipated type, actually hugged me. But the weird thing? Her brother didn't say much. Let's call him Aiden. He and I had always been cool. Not best friends, but we got along fine. Suddenly, he was distant. Always busy. Barely looked at me during family dinners. She gave birth early. Not dangerously so, but enough to raise a few eyebrows. I brushed it off. Then came the moment that changed everything. The baby had a distinct birthmark, this deep reddish mark on the back of her neck. I thought nothing of it, until I saw a photo of Aiden as a baby. Same exact mark, same placement. I mentioned it casually, and her mother froze. Like I'd said something unforgivable. Then she recovered and changed the subject so fast it gave me whiplash. That's when the paranoia started. I couldn't unsee it. The way Aiden held the baby like she was his. The way her eyes darted every time I brought up the pregnancy timeline. The constant deflection. So, I did the thing I never thought I'd do, I ordered a paternity test behind her back. I told her it was for health insurance, some new policy requiring paternity confirmation. She didn't question it. A week later, I got the results. 0% chance of paternity. I thought I misread it. I called the lab. Confirmed everything. That was the longest night of my life. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I just watched her sleep, trying to process what kind of person does this. I confronted her the next morning. She denied it at first, said it must be a lab error. When I said I'd get another test, she broke down. Admitted she and Aiden had a moment of weakness when they were both drunk. It only happened once, she said. It meant nothing. I asked her how the hell something like that meant nothing. She cried. Told me she hated herself. Told me Aiden was her stepbrother, not by blood, and that it wasn't what it looked like. She begged me not to tell anyone. Begged me not to ruin the family. I packed my things, left the engagement ring on the kitchen counter, and walked out. I told her if she didn't tell her family the truth within 48 hours, I would. She didn't. So I did. Now? Her parents are pretending like none of it happened. Aiden deleted all his socials. She's still texting me, saying I betrayed her. Saying the baby still deserves a father. She's right. But it's not gonna be me. Update, thanks for all the support on my last post. I didn't expect it to blow up the way it did. Some of you asked for an update, so here it is, though I kind of wish I didn't have to write this. So, after I told her parents the truth, that the baby wasn't mine, and the real father was their son, things escalated fast. At first, they were in denial. Her mom kept repeating, "That's impossible. Aiden would never." Like saying it enough times would erase DNA. Her dad just sat there, arms crossed, jaw clenched, not saying a word. The only thing he said before I left was, "You shouldn't be telling people this." That was a week ago. Since then, here's what's gone down. 1. Aiden finally called me. I didn't answer the first few times, but eventually I picked up. He didn't deny it. In fact, he sounded weirdly calm. Told me he was sorry I had to find out this way and that he'd been struggling with guilt. Then he had the nerve to say, "I'm not proud of it, but I do care about her. You were never supposed to get hurt." I told him to lose my number. He replied with, "We were family. You were my brother." 2. My ex, still feels weird to call her that, showed up at my apartment crying. She stood in the hallway holding the baby, sobbing like we were in some bad soap opera. She said she told her parents it was a mistake, that she still wanted to marry me, that we could start fresh. She said she'd cut off Aiden if that's what it took. She actually asked me, "Can't you just pretend none of this happened? You were always going to raise her anyway." I didn't let her in. 3. Her parents sent me a letter. Handwritten. Said they were deeply ashamed but begged me not to make this public. They're worried about their family's reputation in the community. They asked me to consider reconciliation for the sake of the child, saying they'd help raise her and that Aiden was planning to move away. No mention of accountability. Just, let's sweep this under the rug. 4. My friends threw me a barbecue party. This was the one bright spot. My best friend grilled steaks, everyone showed up with drinks. I am so grateful to have them in my life. I'm moving next month. Already signed a lease in another city. I need space, and I need peace. I won't be raising another man's child, especially not his. And definitely not after being lied to, gaslit, and guilt-tripped into silence. I know I may sound harsh, but it has been tough for me too. Let them deal with the consequences of their choices. Final update, it's been a few months since my last post, and I honestly thought that was going to be the end of it. I moved to a new city, started fresh, and was finally feeling like myself again. Therapy helped. So did distance. Life was good. Then last week, she showed up. Again. At my building. Holding her stomach. She's pregnant. Again. I didn't let her in this time either, I didn't even speak. I just stood in the lobby, frozen. She said she needed to talk, that things were complicated. She looked exhausted. Her eyes were puffy. She said she didn't know if the baby was Aiden's or mine. She said, I don't know if it's yours or his. We hadn't been together in months. It wasn't mine. She knew that. I think she just wanted to see if I'd flinch. If I'd fall back into that protector role. I didn't. I told her, I hope you find what you're looking for. But stop looking for it in me. She cried. Again. Told me her family's falling apart. Her dad won't look at her. Her mom only talks to her to ask how the baby is. And Aiden moved out of state. She said she wanted to talk just once for closure. But here's the thing, I already had mine. I told her that isn't happening. She went back. That night, I blocked her number. Blocked her parents. Blocked Aiden. I even changed my email. I'm done with all this. I gave more grace than most people would, and all it got me was betrayal. Let her wonder how it might have been. Thanks again for the support. I appreciate it.